Hello, dear students. Today we will do chapter Weathering the Storm in Irsama, which is written by Harsh Mandir. The chapter is based on natural calamity, and we know that natural calamity are very destructive. The area which is caught by natural calamity is experiences the destruction a lot, not for some time, but for some years even. This chapter is also based the natural calamity, that is sea storm, which is based on true incidents. In 1999, it happened in Orissa in our country, India. The writer of the chapter, who is an Indian author, columnist, researcher, teacher, and social activist, he works for survivors of mass violence and hunger, as well as homeless persons and street children. He is the director of the Center for Equity Studies, a research organization based in New Delhi. He also served as Special Commissioner to the Supreme Court of India in the Right to Food campaign and was a member of the National Advisory Council of the Government of India. Among his awards are the Rajiv Gandhi National Sadbhavna Award for Peace Work, the M.A. Thomas National Human Rights Awards in 2002, the South Asia Minority Lawyers Harmony Award in 2012, and the Chisti Harmony Award in 2012. So it means we can say that the author usually writes about the people who faces a lot of hunger, who face a lot of calamities, who are poor in real senses. So in this chapter also, author is telling about the people who are socially poor, street children after the calamity who have become homeless also. The people who are homeless after facing the calamities, even they do not get enough after a lot of struggle for their survival. The people of that society are highlighted by the author to make the other people realize that they should try to help such needy people. This is the story based on real events about the sea storm which came on October 27, 1999 in the state of Orissa. This is the story of a boy, 17 years old boy Prashant, who not only saved himself from that calamity, who not only tried to give or to grab the second chance given by the life to him because he was saved in that calamity, but also he made others to start the new form of life, who made other to think that they should not lose hope in any situation. Prashant, a young man, went to meet one of his friends in Irsama on October 27, 1999. This place was 18 kilometers from his village. When he reached there, unfortunately, a super cyclone struck the village in the evening. Winds beat the houses with great fury, and there was heavy and continuous rain. Houses and many people washed away in that flood. His friend's house was made up of bricks and cement, so it was strong enough to survive in the flow of wind which was blowing at 350 km per hour. It was a great speed. But an uprooted coconut tree had fallen on their house and damaged some part of the roof and walls. To escape themselves from the water which was rising in the house continuously, the family decided to take refuge on the roof. For the next 2 days, all the members of the family, friend of family of Prashant, and even Prashant himself, all of them, they have to sat on the roof for the next 2 days and was frozen, and they were frozen with cold and the rain, continuous rain. But at least they have coconut to eat or drink something at that crisis, because the trees had fallen on their roof, and they were able to get coconut from those trees to survive, to fulfill their hunger. These coconut were blessing in disguise for them. It means when they fell on the roof, they destructed the wall and the roof, but in such crises where nothing was visible, nothing was possible to get from out of the home, they got those coconut fruit from that tree, which was a good thing for them to survive, which was good thing for them to fulfill their hunger. Therefore, these trees were just like blessings in disguise. Means a blessing in disguise means good things in wrong happenings. Early in the morning, when Prashant saw the destruction caused by the cyclone, he became very sad because there was a sheet of brown colored water everywhere. Only some parts of cemented houses were still visible. And the other houses had, and all the other houses which were made of mud and straw, they had been washed away. Even huge trees had fallen. Blotted dead bodies of animals and humans were floating everywhere. The destruction caused by the cyclone and the waves of ocean continued for the next 36 hours. Prashant was there for 3 days because 3 days continuously the rain was falling down. When the rain stopped on the third day, he wanted to return to his village. He doubted to see his family alive because he knew that his village was just 18 kilometers away, and definitely his village would also caught in such cyclone. And he knew that whatever destruction he was facing in the village of his friends, same he would face in his own village. So whether he would meet his family after going there, he was still in doubt. So he left his friends, but still he had to go from there. So he left his friend's village and went to his home. He took a long stick and started on 18-kilometer long and difficult journey to his village. There was water everywhere. He was using his stick to locate the road path. He was using his stick. First he located the path and then he proceeded. At many places it was waist deep. The water was up to waist deep and the progress was very slow. Sometimes he lost the road and he had to swim to cover some distance. After some distance, he found his uncle's two friends who were also going to the same village. Then they moved ahead together because after getting together, they had some more courage. They collected some more courage to go further. They had to push away many human bodies floating on the water. There were also carcasses of dogs and goats and cattle. In every village they passed during that distance, they could barely see a house standing. In short, we can say that the cyclone had destroyed everything badly. Prashant also had some fear that his family could not have survived in the cyclone. At last he reached his village Kalikuda. His heart sank to see that his house was gone. So he lost the last hope to see his family members because his house was not visible. So his family members would not be there. His family was nowhere. In order to look for his family members, he went to the Red Cross shelter in the village. Fortunately, he saw his family members there and he became very happy to see them all. Because in such crises, when he lost each and every hope to to get reunited with them, and in the shelter, when he found his family members alive, safe, then he became very happy. It means it means loss of everything can be tolerated, but loss of family members, loss of human being can never be repaired. Family members were also glad to meet him. He came to know that 86 lives were lost in his village and all the 96 houses had been washed away. From his family, he came to know about this destruction which was also happened in his village due to that cyclone. The cyclone had caused a lot of damages in his village and surroundings areas. Therefore, he decided to help all of them. When Prashant observed everything, he decided something. He thought that they themselves had to get up, they themselves had to help themselves, because if they would try to help themselves, then there is chance that they would get some help from outside areas. He organized a group of youth from all those survivors, and the local merchant was pressurized by collecting all the youth and some old people from that camp. He went to the local merchant, and the merchant was pressurized to give rice for the starving villagers. They burned the fire and cooked the rice. Also, it was rotting, but after 3 4 days, the people in that camp got some food which could satisfy them for some extent. The next step was to clean the place full of filth, dirt, urine, and floating dead bodies, because everywhere it was visible, commonly visible. In the camp, it was also there. The camp was also not filled with uh, alive people, but along with them, all these dead bodies and filth was also in the every corner of the shelter. So when Prashant saw everything, he thought that if the people would live in that area, in that atmosphere, they would have some more diseases and definitely they would not be survive for longer. So he decided that they should clean the place first. They tended the wounds and fractures of many persons who had injured. On the fifth day, a military helicopter dropped the food, but it did not return. Prashant and other people devised a plan to attract the attention of the helicopters. They deputed children to lie with empty utensils on their stomachs. This was done to communicate to the helicopters that they were hungry, they need more food. The scheme worked, and the helicopters started visiting there regularly and dropped food to satisfy their hunger. Prashant was a true survivor. Prashant brought the orphan children and made a shelter for them. Now they started to get food regularly. They kept their shelter neat and clean. So, by this, physically, the persons who were alive in that crisis, they started having some improvement in their condition, physical improvement. So when Prashant observed in the shelter, he found that some children have become orphaned, and women have become widows, and some people had lost their children, and there were some children who had lost their parents. So physically they were getting improvement, but still they were very sad after losing their families, after losing their houses. So they were not happy at all. Prashant asked the woman to look after the orphan children, but he found that the woman and children, they were sinking deeper and deeper into the grief. A non-government organization had started a food for work program. So Prashant inspired that non-government organization to come to their village, and he inspired the women to join that organization. He engaged other volunteers to help widows to start their lives again. The orphan children were resettled in their own community. So it was a good step taken by Prashant, because when the children were resettled in their own community, so they did not face any other trouble to cope up with those families. So their background was same, their needs were same, their requirements were same. So it became very easy for the children, orphan children, to get settled in their own community. And similarly, the people who lost their children, they found the reflection of their own children in those children who were of their own village. So it was very good and great task done by Prashant. After 6 months, when the cyclone caused a heavy destruction, the widows and orphan children of the village still seek Prashant in their hour of grief and need. No doubt, when any natural calamity comes, it gives very deep wound to everyone who faces this calamity, who faces this crisis. The wounds are so much deep, sometimes deeper and deepest, which can never be closed up. But still, there is no chance to mourn over everything, because life always gives every human being one more chance to survive. There is no option of life when we are living being, when we are having some breeze in our body, we have to survive in all the conditions. So it is better to think positively, it is better to have some good way to live the life. Same was done with those orphan children and the widow woman and the people who lost their children and the orphan children who lost their parents. So life gave them one more chance to survive again, and it was good task, good deed done by Prashant, that all the people were resettled in their own village. So life is an ever going circle. We have to accept all the in all the conditions, in all the plights of life. We have to survive, we have to accept every condition, because again, before the life, before nature, we do not have any other option except accepting whatever he gives to us. As we are facing such crises nowadays, the pandemic, COVID 19, we have only one choice, that is to stay home, to keep ourselves safe from that disease, right? So nature always teaches us that it is the supreme power. We have to bow down before it always. So the story conveys a very important message, that when a natural calamity strikes, the members of the community should help themselves. So obviously, in this pandemic, the people of the society are helping each other as much as they can. They should not be totally dependent upon the government to provide help. We should try to help each other first. Government can help us, but government is not the substitute of every human being. It also gives the message that the youth have a major role to play in organizing the community to help themselves. youth is the powerful factor of any society. In any society, if youth is dedicated, then the society can survive, then society can fulfill flourish, and even the society can get some progress. So, youth should provide a leadership role to solve the problem of the common people. In this lesson, we see the leadership provided by Prashant during the superstorm in Odisha village. We should especially concentrate our efforts on women and children who form the most vulnerable section of society. Children are the future of any nation, so they should always be taken care in any situation. They should always be provided each and every need which is good for them, because they will be able, then only they will be able to survive, and then they will be able to build a strong nation in the coming years. Women are also given priority to save, to give some extra attention, because women are the backbone of any society, any family. If women are strong, then they can make their families stronger. So, this is the message of the chapter, that we should not bow down. Human beings' tendency is there that human beings should not bow down before the crisis. There is always a hope in the dark, and we should try to identify that hope and apply that hope to come out from the darkness of life and to enter in the light, so that we can survive, we can live, and we can make our surroundings strong, healthy, and happy. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay home, stay healthy.